What's up, Inner Harbor? Josh here. I wanted to get home and get in a nice suit and stand in front of a nice backdrop and send a video and blessing my dad and the church on all the years of ministry, but life got in the way. So you get me in my work clothes going from one job to another job on the side of the road in South Georgia. I really appreciate you guys. This last season has been tremendously hard on everybody, and probably no more than my father. He lost the love of his life, the co-pastor of Inner Harbor, his best friend, his partner in crime, but you guys have loved him and surrounded him with food and care and money and everything that you guys could offer. You guys have done it for him, and I appreciate that because I don't think anybody else could do it better than you guys have. I just want to take a few seconds and talk about the ministry that I've watched my dad walk through at Inner Harbor. I remember as a young kid, we started out in Odenton Church of God as youth pastors, and then they transitioned to Westport Temple Church of God and went from there to Inner Harbor Church of God. Through everything, I've always watched my dad love people, whether it was counseling late at night while we slept on the floor and got up and went to school the next morning without brushing our teeth, because that's just what ministry is about, to helping my dad hold a flashlight while I changed brakes at 11 o'clock at night, or swapping out toilets because they didn't have anyone else to call and they couldn't afford a plumber. That's who my dad has been in ministry. Yes, he preaches great at the pulpit, and I love to listen to him, but the love and compassion and care that he shows for his people goes further than any pulpit, any stage, any auditorium could do. I've been in services with 4,000 members. I've been in Winterfest with 18,000 students. And the same God that moves in those situations moves at Inner Harbor. And I want to thank you, Dad, for preparing your heart and your life to bring that passion and that presence of God to every person in Inner Harbor. I'm often reminded about down where the casino now lives, there was a family that really was cold one night. My dad was driving past and he saw them on a little bridge, and I think my Uncle Bubba was involved with it. But they just said, we've got to do something. So my dad went and bought every bit of $600 or $800 metal shed, and we went back, and I remember we stayed up late. It was probably 2 a.m. in the morning when we finished putting together this metal shed. Our hands were frozen, couldn't feel the tools in our hands, but we built this shed. We helped them build a small fire so they could live in this metal shed and survive through the cold nights. That's who my dad is. Dad, thank you. Thank you for being you. If anyone had a reason to not be great, to not be awesome, you had reasons with your childhood and the way you grew up. But you conquered things. I want to thank you for getting Mom back in church at a young age. I want to thank you for following out your passion to lead youth. I want to thank you for breaking the generational curses that would conquer us if it wasn't for you. Thank you for loving Jesus. Thank you for being resilient in everything you do. Dad, I couldn't ask for a better dad, a better pastor, a better man to follow than you. You are what a pastor's about. What you do, the hard work you show, the love that you share, all goes further than any stage or platform. And I thank you for that. I wouldn't be where I'm at now. My family wouldn't be together if it wasn't for you and Mom. You guys have demonstrated grace and love and forgiveness, making imperfect situations perfect in the eyes of God. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for loving Inner Harbor. Thank you for loving people in general. Because of who you are is why so many people will stand in front of Christ one day and just say, thank you for allowing me to meet Pastor Dave and Sister Lynn. I love you guys. Thank you, Inner Harbor, for surrounding them in the hardest times. Thank you, Dad, for being you. I love you. Happy Pastor Appreciation Day.